Welcome to the Book of John podcast, back like we never left. I know we had a few delays, but that was basically just because we needed to gather information on topics and do a couple of statistics and talk to people and gather information. So introduce yourself for those who may not know you from the last one.
Be dynamic, one man's treasure is another man's treasure.
And there's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
And this is your boy John, aka Duger, aka everything else under the sun. And when it's not new, we're so true. So basically, we want to talk about the Stephon Clark situation as a whole. So I would ask you, did you protest?
No.
I didn't protest myself.
No.
Basically, based upon the fact that certain jobs gain a narrative off you if you protest, if you're willing to work at the same job when it's all white people. And I felt like my social media voice and my voice on social platforms is more powerful than me marching.
Right.
So I decided not to march, to continue to stay updated and do anything that I could do, which is what I did do. So
Stephon did lose a loved one, so his act out will always go. They'll always say that's why he acts out.
Yeah, and the funeral was pretty powerful too. I watched the funeral.
I don't know how close their relationship was, but when you lose somebody close, emotions take over. And the society we live in, a lot of people lost their life. Not just Stephon Clark, we have others who lost their life. And we protest and march. We make noise, but making noise only does one thing. Nothing. So what I'm saying is, it got to get deeper. Now we can use the social media platform to probably penetrate the minds of the youth and the older generation, because that seeps into somebody's mind in a personal level. You know what I mean?
And also what I wanted to say as far as we need to affect the policies more than we need to affect the businesses in our area, because the businesses is the money and they will have an effect on the community more than I feel like the policies, because they'll step behind it and support. Yeah. But if you're breaking people's windows, which is one incident, or if you're causing lack of money to their business, they're not going to support you.
And what that comes back to is, black people supporting black people, but that comes back to we'll be cursed in the field or in the city. So it seems like when I look around, I don't see too many black businesses. It feels like
but there are some. We have black pages.
Some, but how many people really know about that?
Really, it's about changing the access to black business. If you're accessible to the regular normal
black already
person,
has a bad name.
Well, you know what? We'll just say, it doesn't matter. At this point, we have to find a way to access black business. Period. Yeah. You have to be accessible more than
monetary
Facebook.
Value.
We have to get to a certain point where, just like we call Domino's Pizza, we can call it black business.
Right.
So I would think that if we change our accessibility, we can change the marketability as far as black businesses go. But I don't think that, I do think the protest was necessary, but I'm just glad nobody got hurt, because it was getting to a point where somebody was going to get hurt. Yeah. But I don't like that people try to take control of the movement and make you bow down to them. It's almost like the Elk Grove syndrome. I feel like everybody has a voice and everybody's voice should be heard, not based upon the clout that you created.
Right.
But I do feel like good leadership is important, but I don't feel like that leadership should admonish anybody from trying to have a voice. Don't banish them.
Yeah, it's like Black Student Union at Sac City. We need more unions for the black man.
Definitely.
And the more unions, the more you go into the law and the other nature, and you make it to where you can be accessible information anywhere. No matter your beliefs, whatever.
Right.
Monetary value is important in the community. Everybody looking for the dollar, especially when you're on the bottom. But you have to go by the system. So there's ways you got to read more. You got to almost become your own lawyer. Because to reach the top, you have to do so much because you've been suppressed.
Right. So it's a segue not into a new topic, but we're going to talk basically about Stephon Clark. People can't judge mental illness and the effect of mental illness. it affects you through all spectrums of your life. Period. So if you give $100 million to a mentally ill person, they're still gonna be mentally ill. They have to get to a hospital. They got to get to a psychologist to break down why they act and the reasons why they act and how to improve the way they act.
Yeah.
Mental illness is not cured overnight. It's not cured in a day. It's not cured in a month. That's a life process. When people say trust the process of mental illness is forever process.
Yeah.
It's like asthma. It's like having diabetes. It's treated daily, every day. So your judgment, we don't give a fuck about your judgment, to be honest about it.
Just how I'll say it too, like, say you lose someone close to you, how would you feel?
Well, not even that. Just mental illness in general. How it affects you.
Mental illness.
Like, I had to go to a psychologist when I was young, and I felt like it was necessary for my temper. Otherwise, everybody would get fucked up around me. But do I have outbursts? Yeah.
Some people can't go to that psychologist. You know, I feel like I had a temper problem, you know. I don't know, a mental problem, I mean.
But that's considered a mental illness.
Or then they're making top dollar off your mental illness too, with the pills and everything they give you for that, you know, Ritalin.
But it's up to our black professionals to reach out to help our community.
Right.
Like, if you have that knowledge, why are you not passing it to your community?
Because if you help your community, it makes you look bad in their eyes. It makes you look, you know, when you're for your people, it kind of slangs your ability at work, wherever you're doing, because they look at you different. The perception of you becomes different. So you trying to keep your perception maintain at a good level. At
100% for the white man's eyes.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, they know that that's hindering you because you're not helping what's precious.
It's a conflict of interest.
Right, it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, basically. And that, I like the way you explained that. That makes total sense. There's no way that you can really be for your people unequivocally, but not work for the man.
For example, now this might be a tough topic. It's still the same topic, but just bear with me. KKK, Ku Klux Klan. This is what I agreed with. It was for their people. I know they did some ruthless things to us, but for their people, they done that to where so they could sustain what they're doing today. And now it's so powerful that when you try to do that, it makes you look bad in society's eye when really society is helping their nation before yours.
Would you think it's because we're unmasked? Do you think if we became a masked movement that we would have more power because you wouldn't know who's helping us? I think that we need to become masked.
Oh, a mass movement? Like
a mass movement.
I feel what you're saying. But the thing is, it's different these days. Like, that mass movement comes with death.
But we're dying already.
Right. Yeah, but you're having kids and you want to be able to raise those kids. So, you know.
But nobody will know who you are.
No one will know.
Mask
on, mask off.
I'm thinking it's because we're not masking ourselves, and I think we need to become masked.
Take the respect. Take it.
Well, not take it. Let's just give to our people without being judged through a masked movement. Let's be masked.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Almost like the you know what? I'll get back to you on that. There's a movie on that, and I will get back to you on that.
All right. So let's take it to the next subject: social media.
Yeah.
How is social media benefiting us? I know it benefits us a lot
more than what we was going through when there was nothing to be seen.
True.
Yeah.
But I see now, Mike Zuckerberg? He's on trial for sharing media to certain agencies, and they're stealing our information.
Facebook owner?
Yeah.
Damn.
So it gets to a point where how is social media benefiting you? And is it changing your...
It's a two-edged sword.
Yeah. So do you feel like it gives you a better perception of who you are as a person and what you could do on social media?
It does.
Yeah.
I feel the same. I feel like that platform is almost... You have to have a platform that you can speak to the masses, but you're targeting your nation, but you can speak to the masses, but you're targeting your nation. Clarify. There's going to be other people from other nations who will see what you're talking about and be behind that,
right?
And help and support that. But the whole goal is to really teach the youth so the future can be better for your children. That's what it's all comes down.
So when you scroll down your timeline, do you feel like it does that for you?
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't.
What you mean?
I feel like the things that I like cloud more the judgment and the perception that I get. So like
when you say timeline, what do you mean?
Like what's on my social media timeline when I scroll up and scroll around.
With everything that you see on there?
Yeah, like I would say that if you're going to be naked on social media, talk about why you're naked on your social media. You should say I was touched at this early age or this, because the trauma extends more than what you're posting.
Right.
Explain your trauma so we don't judge you not only on what you're doing.
Judged.
Yeah, you're judged.
Perception is you judge people by as soon as you view something and you see that person, they can be naked, they can be twerking, whatever they're doing, you're gonna judge them. And most of the time, you already know what people are doing that, which makes everybody look bad.
So the same for men posting drugs and drinking alcohol. We're judged on it, but we don't explain our trauma.
Why we're doing it.
Exactly. And I think it's important to explain the double-edged sword. Like, hey, I'm only like this because of this.
Right.
So
but
explain your trauma.
Explain it. But some people are so hard-headed, they look at it as excuses.
Right.
There's other routes. There's got to be a petition, similar to a petition on what is what and why is what. You have to have the masses behind you.
I think there should be different areas on social media where you can click and go there.
Right.
I think it should be filtered, like a YouTube.
Yeah.
You got to filter what we're looking at because you don't want to be judged not only on the thing you do for monetary. Mm-hmm. You want to be judged on who you are as a person.
And
principles and morals, because I know if you're naked or you're doing drugs or you're
there must be something that caused that or something behind that.
100%.
Maybe 10 years ago, whatever it was, something triggered you to turn that route. So no one wants to be. Because in the light, you don't want to be shined as dark.
Nobody wants to be the black sheep of their culture.
No. But there's a lot. Everybody got skeletons in the closet.
So, which leads me to my next topic, the man getting 25 to life for brandishing a weapon on social media.
Video. And was it a music video?
Yeah, it was a music video.
I see so many weapons brandished in music videos.
That's what I'm saying. I see so many white parents that have domestic disputes that don't brandish their weapons.
You know what? I thought about it. If he would have put up a warning sign saying, this is a prop. These are props used in this video.
Right.
Then there's nothing you can do. You have to use the law to your advantage. You have to use the information out there because once you don't, they'll come
use
behind
it against you.
Use it against you, and you end up taking 25 to life for something that's so small. The whole agenda is to get rid of a race, as many as they can get. You don't get no second chances. You're not white privileged.
Right.
I'm not racist.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to segue to our next topic, which is what is civil rights for us today and how it affects us today. So
yeah,
I don't think I would need to give a little background on civil rights and what it means, like equality as far as race, pay, and how it affects you in your day-to-day.
At least equality, there's small progression, but it'll equal a big amount at the end. Hopefully one day we won't have to even have these conversations.
Do you feel like the dream died with Martin Luther King? I think as far as black and white relations improve, but as far as like what black people really go through never improved.
So then you can almost say,
because they're sympathetic,
right?
And other races are sympathetic of what we went through. But
sympathetic don't get you out the hood.
Yeah, 100%.
You can be sympathetic for anything. I'm sympathetic for Stefan's brother that died. I didn't go to the protest. The thing is, actions speak louder than words. There was a man who took action. He actually, I don't condone this. He shot some officers, and he put it before he did it. He put it on social media, leading up to it, and he did it because he thinks taking action in those ways, almost like the KKK, will earn our respect for the future. Martin Luther King, he spoke. He used his words because he knew you can't win that war. So he knew the only way to win that war is to get to somebody's heart. Malcolm X, he was tired of what was going on, and any means necessary. And he'll do whatever it takes for his people to be up top, which is a fast lane because you won't live to 40 when you're doing that. If you're about living forever, living as long as you can, or in the fast lane, you need to pick and choose.
So do you feel like black foundations do enough, or do you feel like ones are created for our generation? Because I feel like the NAACP is for older people.
Right, it's a right.
Older
guidelines.
Older guidelines. I don't feel like it's for the youth and how the youth can get involved.
It doesn't affect the youth these days. These youth, they do whatever they want. Now, if they go ahead and
if they created a center that was 24
right.
hours that we could go to,
a center
with a psychologist,
people can't go here and there. You have to be local centers.
Right.
So you don't have to, and that center can teach you, can heal you, can progress you to be a better person. And being a better person is like the first and foremost thing in the future.
I agree. So do you feel like inequality in your workplace or getting pulled over, like when do you feel
inequality?
Do you feel like inequality? Do you feel like when do you need to get Jurassic? Do you feel like protests at your job or picket lines? Because I see a lot of like unions stick up for their people, but there is no union for black people.
Exactly. I feel like this. It don't even have to be everyone. It could be just black people. Just imagine this. Boycott their job. How many jobs would not be functioning without? Now they don't even say black. They say black and Mexican. They say black and Mexicans boycott.
Just say minorities.
Because
I like to say black and Mexican.
I like to say black and Mexican because no one's going through it like the black and the Mexican man. So at the end of the day, you have your sprinkle of everybody else, but the majority is who? Black and Mexican.
But nobody ever experienced slavery in this country. Period. And I think that goes without saying.
The black man.
You like the black man.
Right. But let me say this. In this country, the black man was enslaved. But in Haiti and Jamaica and Spain,
they got completely took over.
Were Mexicans, Haitians, and Jamaicans. They were going through slavery in other countries. We, quiet as kept, who built the Great Wall of China? All I'm saying, it wasn't Chinese.
It was black people.
Right. So the thing is, we built America on our back so they can live comfortable, and then we're still on the bottom. So then, I tell people, turn to the Bible because it has a lot of answers in there. And then, we got to try to be like one tribe, like Black Panther said at the end of that movie. If we can treat each other like one tribe, one brethren, no one can stop us. Black and Mexicans, I'm really speaking to you guys.
Yeah, well, Native Americans Native Americans is worse.
Especially them. What happened? We know the history of. That's why I don't like to even celebrate Thanksgiving or
shouldn't be a holiday.
Easter.
How we celebrate? How we not get paid for? Man, it's just
we should be reprimanded on those days. Besides, in celebrating a day that caused millions of deaths. No, it just don't make no sense.
Where's the money? Where's the reparations?
They programmed it.
It's programming.
We're programmed so bad. Your kids grow up thinking that, Easter, Christmas, all this, but really it's the day of the pagan.
I think we need to get down to changing the imagery of black people and of Native Americans and Mexicans.
Yeah.
Because the imagery is
have like a student union in a sense for that.
Well,
you
not
even
always a student
union.
Everybody
think they got to be in school, a school setting for it to be a union of that sort. No. You can have a social media outlook union
for minorities, yeah.
Right. And you can go on that page, explain your day, explain what happened to you, and you can let off steam. You can create better ways than us to get monetary value in one account, two accounts. What I'm saying is we don't really think about the future because we live in day by day and at the bottom.
We need to change the imagery down all the way down from Jesus and let that be their day. That's not our day. Period. Right. Christmas. It's not our day. It's not Jesus.
Think about Christmas.
It's not even Jesus' birthday.
If you're at the bottom, how can you even buy them a present? I mean, if you're at the bottom, you don't have money or time to be doing that, but you do it for the loved ones that you're around. And I know a lot of people that love to do that because taxes comes around. But when everything is gone, forget money. Money is a piece of paper. All right, it's not flesh and blood. The gold is
the knowledge
and the people.
We need to change the image of how we're viewed, almost to the point where black is the color of my beard. It's not the color of my skin.
Exactly.
So we need to change that image.
Right.
Period.
If
we're not black.
You want to give him he's dark brown.
Yes.
I'm light brown. He's dark brown.
It's hard to classify because
black
Indians. No, let's get
And
down
black,
to
the
it.
black Indians.
Let's talk about Native Americans being brown,
Right.
Mexicans being brown. Let's talk about Hindus being darker than us.
Right, they're dark.
So are they black? No, they
No.
get the opportunity to change their whole imagery.
They came here. They were paid. Listen, Asians, Arabs, Russians. When they came here, they was paid. There's history books on this. They were paid money to have housing. They were paid to be here.
And they frown upon people on Section 8 and getting free housing, but other people are paid to be here. It's
Paid
not
to
fair.
be here at first, like just to get. Say Esau run the world, and then he pays the other nations to be here to spend that money to grow in businesses like the Jewish people, Jewish, Khazars, really Russians. What I'm saying is, it's every day. Go outside your door right now, you'll see this poverty going on, and you'll
But
see it.
I would say this is not for all white people to be bad.
No, all white people are not bad.
This
What
is
I mean
for the tyranny to end within our country, the top, the elite.
The elite.
Because I know a lot of white people that struggle,
Well,
just like
black
black people.
Right. But let me tell you, there's always will be a difference. This is where the difference lies. For some reason, white and black don't mix. You're gonna always have your son that mix in because they have no choice. Decisions. But if I apply for a job, he applies for that job. We both get hired for this job. If I'm a manager for a job and I see a black man and a white man working, they both doing their job, I'm going to. When that interview comes for them to be managers, I'm going to put my people first. And that's in their hearts. That's written in their hearts. So we have to do the same, and you know it takes time. It's gonna take some time for we need men in powerful places. We need a lot of men in powerful places.
We need a lot. Well, women are in powerful places, but they
When
don't
I
make.
say men, I mean men and women. When I just say the men, I'm a man. I'm just used to saying that.
I mean, I just don't feel like they facilitate the change in the respect level. When a man is in the room,
What will facilitate the change in respect level? From a black man to a white man, respect it. I don't want to say white Asian man.
or just a person of power.
Right.
We'll
person
say
of
the
power.
man.
Okay, person of power.
Because it's not.
Right, we're not trying to be racist here.
It's not white people in general. It's
But we just
the
know
man.
who's in power.
The facilitator of funds
Right,
is the man.
Facilitator of funds.
And what will be a good way to change his perception? That's why I always want to get down to the
How we
point
can change the perception of the facilitator.
of funds. Man, that's a. I think that's a question we should leave for the viewers to answer once
Yeah.
we post this.
Yeah, you answer that question. We'll have and then the next the podcast we'll talk about that, discuss that.
Well, this is gonna sum it up for our powerful message that we have for you guys today. We just wanted to leave you guys with something to think about for the next time or whenever you're riding. This should be up no later than Friday, but hopefully today.
Right.
Once again, my co-host
Be dynamic.
and the Duger, and we're signing out on the Book of John podcast. Thank you very much, and we'll leave you with a smile and a smack on the ass. Take care.